This is a quick overview of the pain points that we solve, and each one of these saves hundreds of hours per year, as well as a lot of the stress and overwhelm that it takes in managing it. First is managing all of our information in the head. Over 75% of people are managing at least 75% of all the things that they need to do and want to do in their head rather than it being written out. Next is all their inboxes. Most people are being really owned and overwhelmed by all the inboxes that they have to manage. Then there's email. So many people are getting owned by their email. They're never at inbox zero. They have an inbox that's just cluttered and never organized. For people who have teams, if they are using email as their primary method of communication, they're just wasting so much time and mental energy. Next, we move on to a full tool set. If you're missing a tool, just so much time and mental energy is being wasted. There's a calendar, there's a projects and actions tool, and there's a business playbook tool, which is all the repetitive actions and the documentation of the organization. And then there's a library where they're holding all that information. Normally, almost most businesses are missing the business playbook and the repetitive actions and the documentation in the learning management system. And a lot of times people might have a project and action tool like Todoist or Asana or Trello, but they are lacking the best practices and the routines to actually keep that together. So a lot of people are actually struggling with how do they even keep these tools together. So do they have a full tool set? One, and two is, do they have the best practices and the routines to keep these tools together? Next is, how do they manage all of the information out of the head and all these inflows into the whole tool set? That's where the mastery of processing comes into play. What are the best practices and agreements so that the information flows through them and into the tool set and into action? And this last part is really the part that makes it leak proof, that keeps the entire system together. With all the information flows and our entire tool set, what are the best practices and the routines to keep it together so that we don't have to think about it? Mastery is about the habits, the routines, the behaviors on what we're doing and how often to make sure nothing falls through the cracks so that we can focus on what matters most.